Dear students, with this topic on antipsychotic agents, we are starting a new unit, namely drugs acting on central nervous system. In this session, we will discuss drugs used in treatment of psychosis and schizophrenia. Psychosis is a common neuropsychiatric disorder from which around 1% of world population is suffering. Psychosis is a broad spectrum psychiatric disorder which includes different disorders characterized by delusion, hallucinations, and other psychiatric manifestation. Schizophrenia is a prototype of psychosis, but not all psychosis are schizophrenia. Other types of psychosis may differ from schizophrenia. So, maybe drugs effective in schizophrenia may or may not be effective in other psychotic disorders. With this background of knowledge, we are starting this session. This slide shows the difference between two broad categories of psychiatric disorders, psychosis and neurosis. Psychosis are serious distortion of thought and behavior. Person think and behave is just in a alien type, while neurosis they are much less serious than psychotic disorders. Psychosis are a serious distortion of thought and behavior. Persons suffering from psychosis, they perceive the thing wrongly, they evaluate the thing wrongly, which are called as delusions and hallucination. Misperception and misperception is delusion. Delusions are different type: auditory hallucination, visual hallucination. Patient suffering from psychosis, he complained he is hearing some voice which is referring him. Person suffering from psychotic disorder, some of the psychotic disorder, he says the something that is actually different, he perceives wrongly. For example, there is a rope inside in front of him, but the patient suffering from psychosis perceive as a snake. So this is a misperception of behavior is also there. The person suffers from psychotic disorder, complains his nerves are conspiring against him. So these are the serious distortion of thought and behavior. So because of this serious distortion of thought and behavior, the patient is unable to meet the ordinary demand of life. Examples of different psychotic disorders are schizophrenia, mood disorders like mania and depression. On the other hand, neuroses are less serious as compared to psychotic disorders. In these disorders, patient ability to comprehend reality is not lost, which is lost in psychosis. But the patient may undergo extreme suffering. Examples of neurosis are anxiety. Patients suffer from generalized anxiety disorder. Phobic state. Some of the patient suffers from phobia from height, other fear from of closed space, some fear from speaking on podium in public space. There are different types of phobias are present. One type is neurosis is obsessive compulsive disorder. You have seen or you have heard about such person that they wash their hand again and again. Some person check the lock the log is okay or not. So these are the obsessive compulsive disorder. Their brain is occupied so that they check whether they have done the job correctly or not again and again. These are the obsessive compulsive disorders. So these psychosis or psychotic disorders have different type of feature: delusion, hallucination. These are the positive features. Agitation, patient is agitated, violent, aggressive. These are the positive feature are present in psychosis. But there are some negative feature are also present in psychosis. Negative features is something is missing in the patient, missing in the normal behavior. Like patient is introvert. He is busy in himself or herself. He does not communicate with others. It is introvert behavior. He is limited to himself or herself only. Emotional blunting is present. Emotions are absent. So something is absent means negative. Something is absent from the normal behavior is negative features. Emotional blunting. Emotions are present. Emotions are absent. This is emotional blunting. Cognitive deficit is there. That is lack of attention and loss of memory is may be present in psychotic features. So these are the negative features of psychosis. So with this knowledge of psychosis, we will discuss the pathogenesis of schizophrenia, which is a prototype of psychosis. Before starting schizophrenia, first we will try to understand role of dopamine as a neurotransmitter, which is important in four sites of the body. First one is limbic system, second one is basal ganglia. Both these structures are present within blood-brain barrier. Other sites are chemoreceptor trigger zone and pituitary gland. On chemoreceptor trigger zone, D2 receptor stimulation causes vomiting. D2 receptor stimulation on lactotrope cells of pituitary inhibit prolactin release. So dopamine is PRIH. Dopamine is prolactin release inhibiting hormone. D2 receptor stimulation in limbic system causes psychosis, as it has been proved in studies, while the D2 receptor less activity in basal ganglia causes Parkinsonism and extrapyramidal syndrome. So in limbic system, D2 receptor stimulation causes psychosis. So psychosis can be treated by D2 blocker drugs. When we give D2 blocker drug to treat psychosis, they increase the dopamine receptor stimulation and psychotic features are relieved, but this increased activity of dopamine may produce Parkinsonism or extrapyramidal syndrome in basal ganglia because of stimulation of dopamine receptor in basal ganglia. Because of blocking of D2 receptor in basal ganglia may produce extrapyramidal syndrome. The pathogenesis of schizophrenia is not clear. To explain the pathogenesis, different theories have been given. One theory is dopamine theory, and other widely accepted theory is serotonin theory. There are various proofs to support dopamine theory. One of them is increased dopamine receptor density in PET scan on postmortem scanning in the psychotic patient. It has also been seen that indirectly acting sympathomimetic drug like amphetamine and cocaine, they cause psychosis. They are indirectly acting sympathomimetic drug. Amphetamine, it is releasing agent. It causes release of more sympathetic agent, including dopamine, and cocaine inhibit uptake of dopamine. So dopamine density is increased in synaptic cleft, which causes psychosis. Next group of to support dopamine theory is homovanillic acid, which is a metabolized which increased in CSF and urine. And D2 blocker drug relieve schizophrenia. So all of these are proof to support dopamine is involved to cause psychosis. But there are some limitations, some proof which goes against dopamine theory, which are negative symptom. Negative symptom which are not relieved or relieved very late or very less with T2 blocker drug. Next theory to explain pathogenesis of psychosis or schizophrenia is serotonin theory. First proof in support of serotonin theory is LSD. LSD causes hallucination and sensory disturbances. LSD is a agonist of serotonin receptor which causes hallucination and sensory disturbance, which are clinical features of psychosis. So when the serotonin receptor stimulation causes psychosis. Clozapine, which is the 5-HT2 antagonist drug, it relieves psychosis, which also support serotonin receptor stimulation causes psychosis. But there are some limitations of serotonin theory as well. First is LSD. Definitely it causes hallucination, which is the feature of psychosis. But LSD causes visual hallucination, while schizophrenia is characterized by auditory hallucination. So, on the basis of different theories, dopamine theory and serotonin theory, antipsychotic agents have been classified into various groups. First group of antipsychotic agent are typical antipsychotic agent, which are also called as first generation antipsychotic agent or neuroleptic agent or typical neuroleptic agent. So typical typical antipsychotic agent, typical neuroleptic agent, first generation antipsychotic agent, all three things are same. Typical neuroleptic agents are of various type. First group is phenothiazine. Second group is butyrophenone. And third is thioxanthine. And next group is other heterocyclic. This is the miscellaneous group. Typical antipsychotic agent means the agent which block D2 receptors in limbic system. Other group is atypical antipsychotic agent. Atypical means which do not block D2 receptors in limbic system. Broadly, atypical agent or second generation antipsychotic agent, they act by antagonizing 5-HT2A receptors. So these are the typical agent which block D2 receptor, in which first group is phenothiazine group. It is a broad group. Again, it has been divided into different groups. First one is phenothiazine with aliphatic side chain, phenothiazine with piperidine side chain, and third group is phenothiazine with piperazine side chain. Example with phenothiazine with aliphatic side chain is chlorpromazine. It is prototype of phenothiazine, and triflupromazine. So mazine is the suffix for aliphatic side chain. Second is piperidine side chain. Example is thioridazine. Piperidine, DINE, thioridazine. D alphabet is common. Thioridazine, piperidine. Third group is phenothiazine with piperazine side chain. Example side trifluperazine and flufenazine. Zin, ZINE, is common suffix. Piperazine include trifluperazine and flufenazine. Okay. Second broad group has only one variety, that is butyrophenone contain haloperidol, trifluperidol and penfluridol. Dol is the suffix for butyrophenone. Butyrophenone, which consists of haloperidol, trifluperidol and penfluridol, it's a very potent typical antipsychotic agent. Next group is thioxanthine, which includes flupenthizole. And last group is other heterocyclics, which include pimozide and loxapine. So first two group, that is phenothiazine with aliphatic side chain and phenothiazine with piperidine side chain, which include thioridazine. First group include chlorpromazine. These two groups have these two groups are low potency typical agent. Low potency typical agent means to produce their antipsychotic effect they require much dose as compared to the rest of the agent. That means it is a low potency typical agent, which implies that their D2 blocking property is low. Their D2 blocking property is low. That's why these agents require more dose to produce their antipsychotic effect. On the other hand, their action on other receptors like muscarinic receptor, like alpha receptors, like histamine receptor is high. So their anti-muscarinic property is high, their alpha blocking property is high, and their antihistaminic property is high. But their D2 blocking property is low. So their D2 blocking property, which is of therapeutic nature, that is low, but their property which is causing more adverse effect, that property is high. Anti-muscarinic property, alpha blocking property, and antihistaminic property, which is responsible to cause adverse effect, which is high, which is significant as compared to other agent. The other agent which include third, fourth and fifth group. Third group is piperazine, phenothiazine with piperazine side chain, trifluperazine, haloperidol and thioxanthine, which include flupenthizole. These are high potency typical agent. Means their D2 blocking property, which is responsible to cause antipsychotic effect, this is high, but the other property which is responsible to cause adverse effect is low. Like anti-muscarinic property is low, alpha blocking property is low, and antihistaminic property is also low. So the group number 1 and 2 are the low potency agent, which is less of D2 blocking property but full of adverse effect because of high anti-muscarinic property, high alpha blocking property, and high antihistaminic property. On the reverse hand, group number 3, 4, and 5, which have high D2 blocking property but less anti-muscarinic property, less alpha blocking property, and less antihistaminic property. So these are the typical agent, typical antipsychotic drugs or first generation antipsychotic agent. Second group of antipsychotic agents is atypical antipsychotic agent, which is second generation antipsychotic agent, which have antipsychotic property not because of D2 blocking nature, but because of antagonism of 5-HT2A receptor. Their D2 blocking property is very less insignificant as compared to typical antipsychotic drug. But they are having some degree of D2 blocking property always, although it is insignificant as compared to typical agent. The main adverse effect of atypical antipsychotic drug is their potential to cause metabolic side effect. They cause hyperlipidemia, especially hypertriglyceridemia. They cause hyperglycemia. They cause weight gain. Tremendous weight gain they cause. Up to 50 kilogram weight is increased because of atypical agent. So metabolic side effect are the main limitation of atypical agents. The potential of metabolic complication is more with some of the atypical agent, while this property metabolic complication is less with some of the agent. In group 1, we have placed atypical antipsychotic which have more potential to cause metabolic side effect, like clozapine, olanzapine, quetiapine. These three agents are full of potential of metabolic side effects like hyperlipidemia, hyperglycemia, weight gain. These are the adverse effect of group 1. While second group, we have placed metabolically neutral atypical antipsychotic agent. They are metabolically benign. Potential to cause hyperlipidemia, hyperglycemia, weight gain is much less as compared to group 1. Group 2 include ZIA compound, ZIAA, Z ziprasidone, iloperidone, aripiprazole, asenapine, ZIA compound. Remaining two are risperidone and paliperidone. So group 2, which are metabolically neutral or metabolically benign, are ZIA compound: ziprasidone, iloperidone, asenapine, aripiprazole, risperidone, and paliperidone. So these are the atypical agents. So how you will differentiate between typical and atypical group? It is not clearly defined, but rest upon receptor profile. Typical agent show antipsychotic nature because of D2 blocking property, while atypical agent, they block D2 receptor very less. Their antipsychotic nature is because of antagonism of 5-HT2 receptor. Because atypical agent do not block D2 receptor very much as compared to typical agent, so their chances of showing their chances of producing extrapyramidal side effect is very less as compared to typical agents, because extrapyramidal syndrome and Parkinsonism is because of blocking of D2 receptor in basal ganglia basically, and because atypical agent do not block D2 receptor, so their chances of showing extrapyramidal syndrome is very less as compared to typical agent, although they show, but their incidence of extrapyramidal syndrome is very less. And efficacy of atypical agent against negative symptom is very less. Negative symptoms are relieved very late or very less with atypical agent than typical agent. So these are the differentiation on which we can compare typical and atypical antipsychotic agent, or first generation or second generation antipsychotic agent. Metabolically benign atypical agents are GIA compound, as we have discussed, ziprasidone, iloperidone, asenapine, aripiprazole, and risperidone and paliperidone. Clozapine and olanzapine has highest metabolic risk. Weight gain of 50 kg is seen with clozapine. So clozapine, olanzapine and quetiapine, which has more potential to cause weight gain, hyperglycemia and hyperlipidemia, are advocated. They are given only when the group 2, that is metabolically benign atypical agent, have failed. They have not any therapeutic efficacy in treatment of psychosis, only when clozapine, olanzapine and quetiapine are given. Although atypical agent have almost zero or negligible D2 blocking property, even then few of the atypical antipsychotic agent has high D2 blocking action. Examples are risperidone and amisulpiride. These two atypical agents have high D2 blocking action. So with this classification of antipsychotic agent, we are finishing this session. Okay.